you everyone for coming out. We're excited to be starting the season. This will be my 24th year here, which seems amazing to me, and happy about it. That being said, this is probably one of the hardest jobs we've ever had as far as going into a preseason. We probably have the most depth, the most talent. Not quite knowing where we're going to put people yet, just because it's so competitive, and so that's an exciting piece for sure. So I'm excited about the season, the competition we have lined up, and just overall the quality of this team, the excitement these players bring to the field every day already, they've shown, and just what they're going to be able to do and the potential I see in this group. So that's kind of the statement I have about the season. Excited to start tonight. We get to play against a pro club that's starting out their inaugural season tonight, with the Ascent coming down from Charlotte. So we're welcoming them to Stone Stadium to kick off the season. This is a pretty early exhibition game for us. Normally we give ourselves a little bit more time to work together and have some training sessions under our belt. But with all the returning players we have, I think we'll be well prepared already to be able to put a good match on the field and then grow from there and have another opportunity next weekend when we host Wake Forest here as well. And then we'll be kicking off the season with a home game the following week. So excited to start.
You mentioned the returners, obviously bringing back a lot of veteran leadership, a surprise to many people. Just what was the conversations like that to make that happen, and what was your reaction when you realized they wanted to come back?
Well, the good thing is I didn't have to do too much convincing. I believe that these guys want to play, they want to keep playing, and we have a program that they've poured a lot of their heart into and time, and I'm thankful for the devotion they've showed to South Carolina, this team, and they want to be a part of it. And so I'm honored that they've wanted to continue here and come back and play their 5th year. It does put a lot of numbers in our locker room. That's something to manage, but it's a good problem to have. And excited for the experience they bring back, and it just adds and lends to that depth I'm talking about. And also it's always great to have experienced players. The teams that we've had here were probably the most success are the ones that have had a lot of experienced players to lead the team, and the younger players learn a lot from players like them that have been through it and been through ups and downs and different pathways during their time, and they have a lot to share with this team and help as leaders.
During this preseason slate, what do you kind of hope to learn about your team over the course of the stretch, and then what can playing against a pro team really do for you guys heading into the year?
Well, I think it's going to be a good challenge competitively. They're playing against women that have been through a college game and played at a high level, and they're looking to play. You're talking about players that want to keep playing, and they're dedicated to what they do, and it's a start for them too. So I think for both teams, they're going to learn a lot about what they have. For us, like I said, we're really, you're looking and not even sure where to start as far as starters go. That's how competitive it is. And so we're going to give opportunities to people to have different combinations of players in there, so that by the time we hit our first game, we hope to have, the best lineup and the best rotation going. And that will still be a work in progress as we go through the non-conference season. And I tell these players too that they shouldn't worry about if they start or when they come into a game, because it's going to take 90 minutes of us working together to be the best team. And so there's going to be players that give their all for their 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then we have another person coming in, and we shouldn't drop off. And that's the exciting thing. So they're going to have to learn their roles in the best way. If they're coming off the bench or starting, we will determine that as we go. We also have some young players that are jumping into the college game. It's always a jump, and giving them these opportunities to play against someone else besides just ourselves is always very valuable. So we're excited to see what they can do.
Your teams have a pretty good track record over the last few years with tournament appearances and stuff. What do you feel like is kind of the key to success for you to get the most out of your players year in and year out?
Well, I think teamwork is huge. I'd say come together and play like a team. And so we can play teams that probably have more talent on paper sometimes, but we'll still win a game because we can be organized. They play for each other, they fight for each other, they do anything, and that happens from what they do even off the field, how much they care for each other. They learn that they respect, and they want to play for the staff we have. I mean, I have a tremendous staff, and we've been together for a long time now, and so we all gonna, I guess, model a team environment as a staff, and I think that trickles down to the team, and they see what it takes to work together and do your best.
Coach, you had the luxury, it seems like the last decade, of having a a keeper for 3 or 4 years at a time who's a starter. This is one of those years where, okay, there's a new one with Heather gone. I guess, what do you see or what do you hope to see in the preseason competition there?
Yeah, I think, Coach Marty Merritt, who works with the goalkeepers, does a tough job too. And kind of let her, with her goalkeeping expertise, decide, okay, who's ready, who's best suited to kick it off. And we obviously work and talk about things. So that's another position that just has so much depth. And so we're excited to see the players that get the opportunity to go in there and see how they do. And we'll give some different chances to people. And at the end of the day, we'll come up with a starter. But the good thing is, again, sometimes you run into the problem where you don't have someone, and we have some good talent there. So, Christina has come back from playing alongside Heather and did a great job last year and has done very well through the year. And, we return another senior with Taylor Fox, and we've had a player coming back from injury with Maria Kemp. Jenna Hall came in from Bucknell and played 4 years and started and played very well and has NCAA tournament experience. So it's a very competitive group, and they've all done a great job.
On the opposite end of the pitch, obviously continue to try to grow the offense of this program. Having Kat back, just how exciting is that? And I imagine it was frustrating for a lot of the other schools in the conference to see that she's coming back.
Yeah, no, that's our hope is, we can continue to put the best players on the field and compete for championships. And Kat's obviously shown what she can do. Teams worry about her. But we also have players that are surrounding her that can take off some of that load too and that focus, which is the exciting part as well. And you always want to have players that can put balls in the net. And I think we add some more talent there this year than even ever in the past. So that part is exciting. I think you asked about Kat only, right? Is that what you, okay. I think the question.
Oh, if you want to say more, man.
No, I was going to add something and I can't remember now. keep asking.
You were able to be at the soccer match on Saturday. First off, what were your general impressions of how the university and the city kind of handled the whole thing, and what was it kind of like for your team to be there and experience the whole thing and get to go out there afterwards?
I thought it was an amazing event. I know it took a ton of work and effort and time with our staff here at the university to make that happen, and they've always done such a good job, getting things ready for when we need to play and be ready every season. And I knew they were capable. It just was a big task to get done, but it came off beautifully. The weather even trying to mess things up, and luckily that avoided the stadium that evening. But it turned out to be wonderful. I think it was a great representation of Columbia and this university, what they can do. They're used to hosting top events. Obviously, our football games every weekend are amazing to be a part of and to watch and to see all that goes into those. So they, were well prepared for that kind of event. It was just a different scenario being a soccer match, but to see fans come from all over the country come in here and hopefully had a good experience in Columbia, I think it was tremendous. It was a great night, and it's special for us to be able to go to a game and see these players play at the highest level. They're the best in the world, and it was very fun to watch them play here at Stowe Stadium as well. I mean, those opportunities are very unique, and I don't know if you guys saw last night, we were able to go out and play on Stone Stadium. The field is still as a soccer pitch, so we got to go out there and experience playing, which was also unique to the team. And so we've enjoyed this whole soccer atmosphere taking over Columbia for this time, and we hope to continue that and have the fans excited about coming out and seeing more soccer this fall.
Did you try to petition them at all to keep it that way for a game?
Well, no. Football's coming, I know. We just wanted to make sure we got there for an event, but it's almost too big of a place to play a game. This atmosphere here at Stone Stadium is one of the best you'll find in the country for soccer, so we don't mind playing a game here, but it was neat to go in the stadium and see what the atmosphere is, to just look up and imagine the stands filled with all the people. It's pretty impressive. So that was a cool experience for the girls.
Always nice when you can take some pressure off of Catberry offensively. Last year you had some folks I thought that did that. I thought Reagan had a really solid freshman year. What do you want to see from her in year 2?
Yeah, Reagan, it showed already last year what she could do as a freshman. She battled injuries. She only played half the SEC season, and she still earned all SEC freshman team, which was impressive. So she impressed the half of the coaches that she did play against, and she is healthy now, recovered well from a surgery, and so we're excited about what she can do. And just being a sophomore helps, having that freshman year under your belt. So Reagan is a talent, and definitely someone that will be in better form than she was last year. So we're excited to see what she can do.
Coach, when you have so much experience on this roster, how does that change maybe your day-to-day when you have all these women that already know what they're supposed to be doing and they're already helping the young ones? You kind of take a step back sometimes?
Yeah, sure. Yes, that's the thing. Like, you're giving them opportunities to show what they can do, and it does put a little pressure on them to consistently perform day to day, which is fine. That's what you want in a team. If someone has an off day, well, we have other places to go. So I think that's going to make us that much better. There's always something to learn. Players that return, and Kat's a good example. She wants to play at the next level, so she knows you're always needing to prove yourself, and having good competition to play against is going to get you there. And Heather Hens is a good example. Last year she played her 5th year. So did Julissa Harris 2 years before. They weren't as prepared for the Pro League as they became after having just one more year in college. Heather went in and had her debut at Houston the other day and did tremendous, and she wouldn't have been able to do that a year before. So I think they'll take advantage of the fact they have one more year here and really focus on being a pro and working with our strength and conditioning staff and everything else that's offered to them, and getting that much closer to being ready to be on the field at the next level.
You mentioned JY. There's a new JY on the team. Have you noticed any resemblance so far?
Yeah, they're very similar, very close similarities for sure. And Jaleesa's sister Giovanna, she's been coming off an ACL injury, so she's working her way in, and it will be fun to see her when she starts to get out in the field and see how much more of a resemblance it is than just them speaking. So yeah, it's neat to have them here again and have the family back.
Gotta ask, what was the process like of getting a pro team to come play here?
Well, I think they were interested in playing us. I know Coach Marnie has a good relationship with the head coach, Coach Cooley there, and so and he's been to our stadium. He knows the environment we have here, so I think they're excited to come into Columbia to showcase their team and know the quality team we have. So it ended up worked out well for both teams, really.
Do you think that could end up being something that you guys do regularly, play preseason exhibitions against pro teams?
Yeah, sure, it could be. It depends. We always want some good competition in the preseason, and we've been able to set up some good games with college teams, but something like that gives us another opportunity. So definitely, and we're happy to have them, and our players look to play professionally too. So maybe some of our players will end up coming back here someday as well from that level.
All right, anything else?